people in the community on both ends. So to sort of help tenants by raising sort of the affordability and the safety of the housing that's currently there, but also to help landlords fix the properties that they don't have the money to fix.
That's great, thank you. And for those who don't know, the city of Lewiston has worked really, really hard to get loans and programs for landlords to make repairs and to like abate for lead. So try to help spread the word about that, because they don't, it's not really out there and nobody's kind of going to the city. So
the city used to come to us and tell us when they had these programs, and we'd have them come in and talk to the local landlords, but we haven't heard from either Auburn or Lewiston in quite a few years about any lead grants.
Well, I can tell you actually that the people from Healthy and Muskegon have been reaching out to local landlords, and nobody wants to talk to them.
Yeah.
Nobody
Well,
wants
the
to
only
get
thing
in
they
touch
reached
with them.
out to me for was to come in and talk to landlords, how to tell our tenants how to clean for lead paint.
Dana.
And she talked to me many, and I had dinner with her.
Right, but part of that is also to sort of give you information about the lead grants that are available.
Tell them to call me again.
And in the past, and there was limited funding in the past. Now the city of Lewiston, Link, you can talk to this, just got a new lead grant that has.
Literally, it was announced
More
several
money.
weeks ago.
Okay, well, that's something new, because
It
before,
is.
all she wanted was
It
come
is
in and tell the
under-
landlords how to clean for lead. We've already had this program, we've gone to class for that, we know it's the tenants that don't know the right way and the wrong way of cleaning for lead paint.
There's
Well,
training for
whenever I
both
go to the
landlords
city to
and
ask for
tenants.
something, they never have any money. That's what the answer is.
Yeah, I look around town, especially where I live on Pine Street, and see a lot of red and white X's on the buildings. I know that means condemned, or at least vacant. These are buildings that, to my untrained eye, look like they're at least basically bare bones, structurally fairly solid. How would renovating one or two or so of those buildings that are already cut up for I assume most of them are already cut up for apartments, compare, probably financially, to building a whole brand spanking new one?
The buildings with the red X, that red X means that the building's deemed too unsafe and for firefighters to not enter at any cost. So,
Okay, well then the ones that are
vacant,
just
yeah.
Vacant or.
So, the older housing stock that we have, like, as I said earlier, isn't even, you could build a ramp, but it might only go to the first apartment, but it's just not sufficient or adequate for people that need wheelchair accessibility or things like that.
I mean, to actually take,
anymore?
no, what I mean is to take one of those buildings and redo it,
Yep.
make it habitable.
Yeah, there's programs out there to help do that, involved in a program right now to do cooperative housing, so that's really exciting. It's called Raise Up. I gotta put a plug out there. So there are organizations and people trying to rehab buildings to do really good things and make them green, hopefully. So, but that, who knows how long it's gonna take. But
Melissa, let me just jump in quickly.
Thanks.
The city is recognizing that you cannot find your way to prosperity purely by demolition. We're trying to identify those properties that are still salvageable. As
Okay.
Melissa noted, the ones that have the X's are just not safe for firefighters to enter.
I thought that was every condemned
Well,
building.
that's a common misunderstanding.
Or vacant building.
It's really for the firefighters to make sure they don't get injured or killed in the job.
Oh, okay.
Many of those
I
properties,
thought it just meant this
Open and
building
make
has
dark.
been locked up, don't go in.
well, it does mean
For
it's been locked up.
Yeah.
Trespassing purposes.
But it's not necessarily condemned by the city council, which unfortunately there's condemned by the city saying it's not habitable, and then there's condemned by the city council, which says this thing is, we gave you the order to fix it up, you chose not to fix it up, we told
Yeah.
you to demolish it, you chose not to demolish it, the city's now gonna demolish it and hand the bill to the property owner.
Uh-huh.
If the property owner doesn't pay that bill, 18 months later, the city owns it.
yeah.
So there's several different layers of demolition. Our preference is not
Different
to do
standards.
that. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, when a place has had all the plumbing gutted out of it, all the electrical's gone, when you look at the cost, okay, it's a 3-unit building, the cost to renovate this thing, it'll never, ever be profitable.
So
Those are
basically,
the
it would
ones that
vary
tend to come
depending
down.
on the building.
It varies,
Okay.
yes, it depends on the building, but the city is trying to recognize and identify those buildings that are salvageable, that
Good.
make some sense to renovate. We do have loan and grant programs available, and as well as this $3.4